All right, anime fans, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into a character that's taken the Isekai world by storm.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about Rimuru Tempest from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Yeah. You know the show.
You know the show, you love the show,
Right.
but we're going beyond the surface today
Yeah.
to really get to the core
Uh-huh.
of what makes Rimuru tick.
You know what's so fascinating about Rimuru is
Yeah.
they really embody that classic isekai setup,
Yeah.
but constantly they're kind of like turning it on its head,
Yeah.
subverting our expectations. We're not dealing with like your typical
Right.
overpowered hero here. Like Rimuru's journey from this like seemingly insignificant slime to this like crazy powerful demon lord
Totally.
is full of like these unexpected twists and turns.
You think you know what to expect from a slime, right?
Right?
But Rimuru is just like, nope, I'm going to defy all your expectations.
Right.
This is a slime who builds a nation.
Right.
But before we get into all of that,
Yeah.
rewind back to the beginning.
Totally. Let's go back to Rimuru's origin story.
Okay.
They started out as Satoru Mikami,
Yeah.
completely average salaryman living in Japan,
Yeah.
just like going about his day until, bam, he gets caught in a random stabbing attack and dies.
Ah.
But, you know, heroically saving his colleague.
Okay.
So, like,
Yeah.
you know, very tragic, but also kind of.
It's true. Yeah. It's ironic.
Ironic considering, like, how ridiculously resilient Rimuru becomes, right?
Go up, right?
Like, talk about a glow up, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's those final moments as Satoru
Yeah.
that really shape Rimuru's entire future.
Interesting.
He has these almost like half-joking wishes, right?
Right, yeah.
About being like immune to pain and the elements, wanting like a more exciting life.
Right.
And it's like the universe took him literally.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's almost like those those dying wishes became the blueprint
Yep.
for Rimuru's new slime form.
Yeah.
Like temperature resistance,
Yeah.
pain resistance,
Uh-huh.
poison nullification,
Right.
the ability to regenerate from almost any injury.
You can't.
This slime is basically indestructible.
You can't kill this slime.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder though, like, is Rimuru's slimeness actually an advantage?
Right.
In some ways. I mean,
Yeah.
it's certainly not what you'd expect from
Right.
a powerful protagonist,
Uh-huh.
but it allows them to approach situations in a unique
Absolutely.
and often underestimated way.
Yeah. 100%. And then there's Rimuru's signature ability,
Oh, yeah.
Predator,
Predator.
which they get thanks to Satoru's yearning for
Yeah.
a more exciting life.
Right.
And this allows them to absorb and mimic the skills and even the physical forms
Whoa.
of those they consume.
That's amazing.
It's so cool.
It's like the ultimate power fantasy, right? like being able to take on the strengths and abilities of anything you encounter.
Totally. But it also raises like these
Yeah, it does. It's true.
interesting questions, right?
yeah.
About identity and like
Yeah.
what it means to truly become someone else.
100%. Yeah.
You know, and Rimuru grapples with those questions
Uh-huh.
throughout the series.
For sure.
They constantly evolve
Yeah.
and adapt,
Yeah.
incorporating like new skills and knowledge into their being.
Makes sense.
Like, for example, early on, they absorb this like powerful fire spirit
Yeah.
called Ifrit,
Ifrit. Uh-huh.
which grants them like cloning abilities
Yeah.
and immense magical power,
That's incredible.
you know?
Yeah.
And later on, they consume the Orc Lord,
Oh, wow.
which pushes Predator to evolve into gluttony
Okay.
and even more like potent and versatile abilities.
It's like they're constantly leveling up,
Right.
but it's not just
Right.
about raw power.
Totally. Each new ability Rimuru acquires,
Yeah.
it reflects their growth.
Okay.
Not just as like a fighter, but as a character.
I see.
You know, like gluttony, for example,
Mhm.
represents like Rimuru's insatiable hunger for knowledge
Right.
and their desire to understand like the world around them.
That's deep.
It allows them to like analyze and deconstruct
Wow.
the very like essence
Yeah.
of what they consume, whether it's magic or
Sure.
skills or even information.
It's true. It's like their name suggests.
Right.
They truly are a glutton but not for food, for
Exactly.
knowledge and experience.
Yeah, exactly. And this constant evolution is
Yeah.
key to understanding Rimuru's journey.
Right.
They never stop learning.
Yeah.
Never stop growing. And that's what makes them such a compelling and unpredictable protagonist.
And speaking of unpredictable,
Yeah.
let's talk about Rimuru's nation-building skills.
Oh,
How does a slime,
right.
even one as extraordinary as Rimuru, manage to establish an entire nation?
That's where Rimuru's unique blend of charisma, diplomacy, and strategic thinking comes into play.
Okay.
They possess this uncanny ability to connect with others, understand their motivations, and find common ground, even amidst conflict.
It's not just about brute strength with Rimuru.
Right.
They're a master negotiator.
Yes. Yeah.
A skilled strategist, and someone who genuinely cares about the well-being of others.
100%.
It's amazing.
They manage to unite these diverse monster races.
Right.
Goblins, orcs, lizard men.
Yeah, it's true.
Who would normally be at odds with each other.
Yeah.
And they foster a society based on equality and cooperation.
It's incredible. It's an incredibly optimistic vision, almost utopian.
It is, yeah.
In a way. But it also raises questions, right? About the challenges of maintaining such a diverse and harmonious society.
Yeah.
Especially in a world where conflict and power struggles are so prevalent.
Yeah, that's a theme we'll definitely delve into further as we explore Rimuru's journey as a leader.
Okay.
But for now, let's just appreciate the sheer audacity of their ambition. This is a slime who dared to dream of a better world and then actually went out and built it.
And it's that combination of idealism and pragmatism. That unwavering belief in the power of cooperation and understanding.
Yeah.
That makes Rimuru such an inspiring figure.
Absolutely.
But, things aren't always sunshine and rainbows.
Of course not.
In the world of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, right?
Right. And that brings us to a pivotal turning point in Rimuru's journey.
All right.
A tragic event that forces them to confront the harsh realities of their world and embrace a darker side of themselves.
I'm intrigued.
That attack on Tempest? It's a brutal wake-up call for Rimuru,
Yeah.
It shatters it, their naive belief
Yeah.
that peace and harmony can just be achieved through, good intentions alone.
It's true.
They're forced to confront the fact that there are, forces in this world that will stop at nothing to maintain their power, even if it means resorting to violence and oppression.
It's a harsh lesson.
It is.
And one that Rimuru takes deeply to heart.
Yeah.
They realize that to truly protect their people and their ideals, they need to become something more than just a benevolent leader.
Right.
They need to become a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Someone who can inspire both admiration and fear.
And that's where the decision to evolve into a demon lord comes in.
Right. It's not a choice.
Not a choice they make lightly.
I imagine not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They understand the weight of what it means to embrace that kind of power.
Yeah.
The potential for corruption, the burden of responsibility.
For sure.
But they also recognize that it's the only way to ensure the survival of those they care about.
Yeah, it's a fascinating dilemma.
Right.
And I think one that a lot of us can relate to on some level.
Yeah.
Those moments in life where you're kind of forced to confront your own limitations.
Yeah.
Where you have to make those difficult choices that might compromise your values in order to protect something greater than yourself.
Yeah, and that's what makes Rimuru's journey so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just a power fantasy.
Right.
It's a story about growth, sacrifice, and the struggle to balance idealism with the harsh realities
Yeah, for sure.
of the world.
So Rimuru becomes a demon lord. And with that comes a whole new set of challenges.
For sure.
They're no longer just the leader of a small nation.
Right.
They're a major player on the world stage.
Absolutely.
And everyone is watching to see what they'll do next.
Right. The power dynamics like shift dramatically.
I bet.
You know what I mean? Like Rimuru has to navigate this complex web of alliances and rivalries, dealing with other demon lords who see them as a potential threat or like a valuable ally. They have to weigh like the consequences of their actions
on a much grander scale. Knowing that like every decision they make could have these far-reaching implications.
It's like they've gone from playing checkers to playing chess.
Yeah, exactly.
With much higher stakes. And all of a sudden, they're in the spotlight. Everyone
is
scrutinizing their
every move.
But what's interesting is that even with all this newfound power and responsibility, Rimuru doesn't lose sight of who they are.
Rimuru's like core personality remains intact. They still value like diplomacy, cooperation, and peaceful solutions whenever possible.
Yeah, for sure.
But they also recognize that like strength is sometimes necessary to protect what's important. They're not afraid to use their power to defend their nation and their people.
But they always strive to do so in a way that minimizes harm and promotes understanding.
So it's not about like becoming a tyrant or ruling through fear. It's about finding that balance between compassion and strength. Between idealism and pragmatism.
That's a delicate tightrope walk.
It really is.
But Rimuru seems to like navigate it with a remarkable grace and wisdom.
And I think a lot of that comes down to Rimuru's ability to surround themselves with capable and trustworthy individuals. They build a strong team of advisors, each with their own unique skills and perspectives, and they value their input and guidance.
100%. It's a reminder that like even the most powerful leaders need like a solid support system.
That's true.
You know, they can't do everything alone.
And the best decisions are often made collaboratively.
Absolutely.
You know, and Rimuru understands that. They foster an environment of like open communication and debate, encouraging their subordinates to challenge their ideas and offer like alternative solutions.
Makes sense.
It's not about like ego or hierarchy. It's about finding like the best possible outcome for everyone involved.
It's such a refreshing approach to leadership.
It is.
Especially in a world where power is so often associated with dominance and control.
Totally.
You know? Rimuru shows that true strength lies in humility. In the willingness to listen to others, to learn from their mistakes, and to adapt to changing circumstances.
And that's reflected in how Rimuru like
wields their power. You know, they're constantly like evolving, refining their skills, and seeking new ways to use their abilities for good.
I see.
Like take Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
For example, it's an incredibly potent ability. Allows Rimuru to like manipulate space and time.
Oh, wow.
Devour souls.
Wow.
And even like control gravity.
That's incredible.
Right. But they don't use it recklessly or for personal gain.
It's like they understand the immense responsibility that comes with such power.
Totally.
And they're determined to use wisely and judiciously.
Exactly. And then there's Raphael.
Raphael.
Rimuru's ultimate skill. That acts as a sort of like hyper-intelligent advisor.
Interesting.
You know? Constantly analyzing situations, predicting outcomes, offering like strategic guidance.
It's almost like having a supercomputer.
It is
in your head.
It is,
It's incredible.
It's such an advantage.
Right.
But it also like speaks to Rimuru's insatiable thirst for knowledge.
Okay.
And their desire to make like informed decisions. Yeah. They don't rely solely on their own instincts or emotions. They seek out information, they weigh the options, and they strive to make choices that are both strategic and ethical.
It's impressive.
And that brings us to one of the most fascinating aspects of Rimuru's character. Okay. The constant internal struggle between their human values and their monstrous nature. Right. Yeah. They retain the memories and emotions of their past life as Satoru Maikemi. Right. That innate sense of empathy and compassion. Yeah. But they're also a demon lord. Right. A being of immense power with the potential for both great good and great destruction.
It's like they're constantly walking a tightrope between two worlds, trying to reconcile their human side with their monstrous side. And it raises some really interesting questions about identity, morality, and the nature of power.
Right. And it's those questions that make Rimuru's journey so compelling.
Yeah, I totally.
We see them grapple with the consequences of their actions, question their own motivations, and strive to find a path that aligns with their values.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even the most powerful beings aren't immune to doubt and self-reflection. Right. And it makes Rimuru a much more relatable and human character despite their extraordinary abilities and monstrous form.
Yeah, and speaking of monstrous form. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Rimuru's appearance. Okay. They're a slime, but they can also shapeshift.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Into a human form, which is a whole nother layer to their character.
Right. So we've talked about Rimuru's incredible powers and their journey to becoming a demon lord. Yeah. But let's dive into something a bit more visual. Okay. Their appearance.
Right. As a slime, Rimuru isn't exactly the most imposing figure. Yeah. They're basically a cute blob of goo, which can be a bit of a disadvantage when you're trying to command respect.
I can imagine on the world stage. Yeah. Imagine trying to negotiate a treaty with a neighboring kingdom. Yeah. And they're all just wait, that's the fearsome demon lord we've heard so much about.
Exactly. But Rimuru has a trick up their sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
The ability to shapeshift. Right. Early on, they absorbed this powerful magic user named Shizu Aizawa. Yes. And this gives them the ability to take on a human form.
It's like a magical makeover.
It really is. Yeah. So they can actually transform into a person.
They can, yeah.
That's going to make things a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. It does.
In terms of diplomacy and just, blending in.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not just any human form. Right. They actually take on an appearance that closely resembles Shizu.
Albeit a bit younger. Right. And more androgynous.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they kind of inherit
They do, yeah.
the look of this powerful magic user. Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah. But how do people react to Rimuru's human form? I mean, do they ever suspect that this seemingly normal person is actually a slime in disguise?
It's a mixed bag. Yep. Some people are completely fooled. Right. And they just see Rimuru as this charismatic and somewhat mysterious leader. Yeah. Others, especially those with keen magical senses, can sometimes detect traces of Rimuru's true nature. Okay. But even those who suspect something is up are often willing to overlook it because of Rimuru's actions and the positive impact they have on the world.
So it's like their reputation precedes them. Totally. People are more focused on what Rimuru does rather than what they are.
Exactly.
It's about substance over form. Yeah. But I'm guessing that changes a bit after Rimuru becomes a demon lord, right?
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
The transformation into a demon lord brings about some significant changes in Rimuru's human form as well. They grow taller. Their features become more refined.
Okay.
And they develop this aura of power and authority.
Right.
That's hard to ignore.
It's like they level up in the looks department too.
They do, yeah.
But I imagine people's reactions must be even more complex now.
There's got to be some fear mixed in with respect.
Absolutely. Rimuru's evolution into a demon lord makes them both more respected and more feared.
Right.
Some see it as a sign of their growing strength and influence.
Okay.
While others view it as a potential threat.
Right.
But even with this, newfound power and aura of authority, Rimuru never forgets.
Right.
Their core values.
It's good. It's
they still treat others with respect and strive to build a world based on understanding and cooperation.
It's like they embody this duality of being both powerful and compassionate, fearsome and approachable.
Yeah.
They challenge our preconceived notions of
what a demon lord should be.
Exactly. They're constantly subverting expectations. It's true.
Both in terms of their appearance and their actions.
Yeah.
They show us that true leadership isn't about brute force or intimidation, but about inspiring others through empathy, understanding, and a genuine desire to make the world a better place.
And that's what makes Rimuru such a compelling and enduring character.
Absolutely.
Their journey is a testament to the power of growth, resilience, and that unwavering belief in the potential for good.
Yeah.
Even in the face of adversity.
It's a story that resonates with us on so many levels.
It really does, yeah.
It reminds us that even the smallest and most unlikely of creatures
can achieve great things.
Yeah.
And that true strength lies in the ability to connect with others and inspire them to create a better world.
And it's that combination of idealism and pragmatism.
Yeah.
That unwavering belief in the power of cooperation and understanding that makes Rimuru such an inspiring figure.
Absolutely.
But, things aren't always sunshine and rainbows in the world of that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Right. And that brings us to a pivotal turning point in Rimuru's journey, a tragic event that forces them to confront the harsh realities of their world and embrace a darker side of themselves,
I'm intrigued. Okay, so shape-shifting, right? They take on the human form of Shizu.
Yeah, but that human form actually changes as Rimuru evolves.
Okay.
When they become a demon lord, their human form also levels up. It becomes taller, more powerful looking, more androgynous, I guess.
So it's their outward appearance starts to reflect their inner transformation.
Exactly, yeah. It's fascinating how they kind of straddle these two worlds, right? The monstrous and the human.
Yeah, and they do it in a way that really challenges our expectations of what a demon lord can be.
Yeah, they're not your typical evil overlord,
Oh, yeah, right.
There's something much more nuanced and complex.
Absolutely. It's been amazing really taking this deep dive into Rimuru Tempest.
Yeah.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to explore.
There is, but I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, yeah.
We've talked about, their origins, their powers, their leadership, their evolving appearance,
their struggles.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, yeah.
But what we've found is a character who's complex, compassionate, and constantly challenging the status quo.
Absolutely. And inspiring, I think.
Incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a character who defies expectations, embodies both strength and compassion, and constantly pushes the boundaries of what's possible,
Rimuru
Tempest is definitely worth checking out.
I think so, yeah.
Their journey is a reminder that even in a world filled with challenges and darkness, there is always hope for a brighter future.
That's a great message.
It is. Yeah. So what does Rimuru Tempest's story mean for you? What lessons can you take away from their journey? We encourage you to reflect on these questions and to continue exploring the world of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. If you enjoyed the episode, like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.